Lead your family like you lead your team. Hey guys, Dan Greer with Forge coming at you today for your 5-minute power up. Today we're going to be chatting all about leading your family like you lead your team. And I'm going to be real with you. I'm not always the best leader in my life. Okay, so my son shipped off to the Army. Oh man, Billy's been in the Army for over a year now. It's like a year going in July. So it's been like a year and a half that he's been in the Army. And before he left to go to the Army, we, in the spring, we always get super busy with lacrosse and dance and all this other crap that goes on. And so our weekends are usually pretty full. I'm not going to lie to you. Like, they're usually pretty stacked up. And so we don't make it to church a lot of times. And then when we take a summer trip, we don't usually go to church because, we're off driving, we're enjoying life, and we're out there enjoying God's creation and talking about him at each stop that we make. And so that's kind of part of it. But, I'll be real honest. We've wanted to find a church to go to. So we had a pastor at the old church that we went to, and I grew up in, and he was amazing. He was great, but he's gotten older and he's retiring. And the new person they brought in, I just don't sync with, right? Like, I don't get much out of his message. And I understand that that's okay. Like, it doesn't mean that the church is bad. It doesn't mean it's not a great place to go. Like, it just means that I struggle with it. And so I've really struggled with moving to find a new place to go. Because my grandparents go to that church. My parents go to that church. I grew up in that church. My kids grew up in that church. And changing churches because the pastor doesn't speak to us kind of seems crazy, but it's also the whole reason you go is to hear the message. It's to be in God's word. It's to be there. The people of the church are still amazing, but the message wasn't hitting home. And so I wasn't being a good leader because I was scared to go find a new church. I was scared to take those steps. I know Dan Greer scared to go into a new room. What? Are you kidding me? But I was. Okay? And so finally I made this decision. I made a decision that said we're going to go find a new church for a couple of reasons. One, because I wasn't super happy with my relationship, in the direction my relationship was going with my wife or my kids, and I wasn't being the best leader I could be. And so we finally started the hunt this last weekend, and it's gone pretty well, and we're going to go find a couple more ones. Like this one, the first one we went to, like, it was a good experience, don't get me wrong, it was great, but it wasn't like what I wanted. Okay, it was a virtual message, not a real message, but I digress. But that's leadership. We talked about that, right? And the principles that I use at work at home too. We talk a lot about communication at work, and I use those same principles with my kids, and we communicate with them. We talk to them like they're adults. Heck, they're adults. My oldest is 19. He's not in the house anymore, but I still talk to him like he's an adult. My next one is like 17, right? Nathan's 17. He's getting ready to graduate this year, and like, that's crazy, right? But he's an adult, so we're talking to him like they're adults. And we've been talking to them like they're adults since they were born, though. Don't get me wrong. One of the big things that I found with leadership at home is that presence over perfection. Okay? My family needs me. They don't need the perfect version of me. They're never going to see the perfect version of me, and I have to get over that, but I have to allow them to see me and who I am. Okay? Your kids and your spouse need the same intentionality that you use at work. So the same intentionality that I use for you guys to bring this podcast to you, the same intentionality that I used when I wrote my book, okay, the same intentionality that I use with my team, the same intentionality that I use with my customers, the same intentionality that I use whenever I'm out getting new customers is what I have to use at home. It's what I have to use with my spouse. It's what I have to use with my kids. I have to be intentional with my time. I have to say, let's go play a game. Come on. Not let's go scroll our phone, but let's go play a game. Okay? There is a huge danger of giving your best energy at work and your leftovers come at home. Because why? We're comfortable at home. They love us. We know they're going to love us. But I need you to reserve some of your energy to go home and be an amazing spouse and an amazing parent. And I want you to think about this for a second. If your relationship is suffering with either your kids or your spouse, whose fault is it? It's yours. As a forged leader, it's yours. And you know why? It's because you're not being intentional. And you're allowing them to get the leftovers. And while some leftovers are yummy, it's never as good as it was the very first time you had it. Okay? I want you to think about that for a second. Faith-first leadership starts at the kitchen table, not in the boardroom. So here's my challenge for you. Tonight, I want you to be fully present with your family for 30 minutes. No distractions, no phones, no boob tube TV on. No computer open, no tablet open. I want you to be present with them. I want you to have a real conversation with them. That's my intention for you tonight. All right, guys, get out there, get forged, be present. Hey, you can even read my book to them. What am I thinking? Of course I'm going to plug this. Get the book. Read it to your kids. They'll love it. Maybe not. I don't know. All right. Hope you guys have a great day. We'll chat with you later.